Rolf Harris is said to be a Knights Templar too. I mean, they get everywhere, don't they? But other people consider the reason they're doing it, some people say, is because it's all about that the Masons are now the Templars. And you must admit, like, as we've seen here, the Masons, a lot of the Masonic rituals are very, very similar to the Knights Templar rituals. You know, their belief that the two-part belief in God, the lower God and the lesser God, which the Masons call Jabulon, and the upper God they call Adonai. Many esoteric organisations during the Middle Ages believed this, and they believed it in secret through mystery schools, because people who believed it openly were often killed, like the Cathars believed that, and they were slaughtered. They were slaughtered in the 12th century in the Albigensian Crusade, one of the worst crimes ever committed. I'm just going to cross over the road now, because I'll show you, what I'm going to show you is that the legacy continues even in the modern age, maybe on a subconscious level, by the people who actually live in this area. Well, I'm going to show you, if you look ahead, you'll see a pub called the Original Swan. Now, Swan is said to be a creature from the underworld. Whether that means anything, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are other pubs called Swans, but most pubs called a Swan are by the river. So why is this one in the middle of a town? You may want to know. Nice pub, actually. They serve some good local ales in there. I'd recommend it if you're ever in Oxford. But look what you see here. More Illuminati symbolism, more. You see, this is very, very blatant. It's actually one of the highest buildings in the area. Apart from the records office, it's one of the highest buildings in the area. It's part of the flats that were built in the same generation as the ones I showed you at the beginning of this film. And as you see, you can't get more blatant than that. It's an Illuminati pyramid. Here is the records office, which we were just inside. As you see, it used to be an old church. Now I'm just going to carry on a little bit further now, because I want to show you something else. I can't see it very well from this angle, actually. I'm just going to move over a little bit. And the wind is a problem too, because it's blowing the shape about. But I'm going to show you something in that pub, the Swan, which might interest you. You see here, look at that. Now that, as I'm sure you'll recognise by now, is an Illumina. That little rain shower over the beer garden was, as you'll recognise by now, an Illuminati pyramid. Now, you may think is a bit odd. I think that's odd. I mean, I can't prove anything, because, I mean, like I said, those things are used everywhere. You know, those kind of pub symbols used everywhere. I mean, but doesn't it sound odd? You get all these shapes together, different shapes. Buildings built centuries apart have the same symbols in their architecture. Don't you think that's weird? And then there's the Knights Templar Preceptory, literally less than 100 yards from where those buildings stand. And then there's the Swan with those funny shaped, I don't know what you call them, covers over the beer garden tables. And that is odd, isn't it? You know, but it's not even the end yet, because I'm going to show you something else. You may be familiar with geo energy, geospirals, earth energy, ley lines, things like that. Well, powerful electrical fields can actually make changes in these ley lines. And one of the things that can affect these things are mobile phone masts, or cell masts, if any of you are Americans watching this. Now, the mobile phone masts are very, very powerful transmitters of microwave electromagnetic radiation. They're what allows you to make mobile phone calls. But they're much more than that. Here it is. Actually, you can't get a very, very good view here. I'm going to go around the other side of the building and you can see it better. But what they are is, they actually affect the non-electromagnetic energy too of the Earth, what you might call the psychic energy of the Earth. Got to be careful here, because there's a police station nearby, and I think they're making it illegal to film the police pretty soon, so they'll probably nick me and take my camera away. Not that I'm scared of the police or anything, you know, and I'm not going to let them stop me doing the right thing, but I still got to be. I don't want to lose this camera. I've only just bought it, and it's quite expensive. So if I'm gonna make a stand on something, I'll make it like that. It's going to be something important and worth doing, not just for the sake of it. Oh, Dondaz from the David Icke Forum won't like that because he's always filming the police. Right, now you're going to see it more clearly in a minute. Mobile phone masts are very powerful transmitters of electromagnetic energy, and this is no doubt that this mobile phone mast, you can see it more clearly now, is changing the electrical field, the energy field of the local area. And lots of ley lines run through Oxford. It's a very ancient esoteric site. Why are they doing this? I wonder if there's a connection between where the Knights Templar put their preceptory, because the Knights Templar were privy to ancient knowledge. They were privy to a lot of mysteries that today we don't even know about. They may be preserved in some mystery schools, but they are kept quiet and secret from many people. Mysteries about how the Earth is a living organism. Well, there's a guy called James Lovelock who's written a book, a scientist who's written a book on that, but it doesn't even go as far as he's saying. It goes much further even than that. And the reason is, the Earth is also very vulnerable. And there's a war against the Earth at the moment, a war on terror. Terror spelled T-E-R-R-A, as Ian Crane, my friend Ian Crane, who does lectures on this subject, would call it. The war is against the Earth, it's against the biology of the Earth, and it comes in terms of pollution, comes in terms of actual warfare, as you probably know about the war against Afghanistan and Iraq and places like that. But it's also an electromagnetic war. It's a war against our minds and against the biological makeup of the Earth. I'm going to end our little tour now by showing you the Temple Square Centre. I had no idea when I first came to live in Oxford as a child. I had no idea about this story. And when I came to live in it, this was not called Temple Square. It was called Cowley. It was just called Cowley Centre, and local people still call it that. It's still called that informally among local people. And you can see here at the moment there's this kind of Stanley knife thing outside it, and a lot of shopping centres have that. It's just a signboard. But you can see the Temple Square. You see where it says Temple Square on the side of the signboard. Now I know for a fact, as I remember very well before I was even interested in the subjects I've been talking about in this film, I remember very clearly that there used to be a very different thing there, what you see there. It wasn't this Stanley knife thing sticking up in the sky. It was a parapet. It was a glass parapet. And guess what shape it was? It was pyramidal. It was a pyramid-shaped thing, and it had a truncated form to it. The capstone was detached. It was separate. It was exactly the same symbol that you see on all those buildings I've just shown you. Well, that's the end of our little tour of Temple Cowley, Oxford. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you found it enlightening. Hope you found it interesting. One thing you've got to remember is, don't let the buggers grind you down. We, the humans beings, are going to create a free world, one way or another. So, and look out for the next exciting instalment of Hapanwo TV. Hospital Porter's Pride and Dignity, stop the New World Order. Thank you very much.